side's the mic on when you turn. The other side's Quasar.
We could do that. We could do something
Right?
like that. I don't know.
You can
Think so?
cosplay as
I could do.
yourself
Yeah, I
for
could
Halloween.
cosplay as myself for Halloween. Oh my god, you're a genius.
I like it.
All right. You ready?
Yeah. Game time.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of What the Wednesday with myself, Chris Qualizar, and my co-host, again, we've had this before. I don't like calling you co-host because I feel like that's like co-star, right?
Yeah,
What's the other term for that? We went through this like 10 episodes ago and I've already forgot what
did.
it's called.
I don't know what we talked about.
My other host.
Bro host.
Yeah, my bro host. I think that's actually what you came up with last
I've
time
probably
too.
said that. It clicks in my head every time, so.
My bro host, Dusty the Game Hopper. Dusty,
Let's go.
how's your week been, man? How you doing?
It's been good. The highlight of my week was getting a third monitor mounted. So now I have vertical, horizontal, and then my main.
Nice.
Which has been a lot to get used to.
Oh,
But it's...
It makes a world of difference once you do it. Like, it's like you forget to use it for a while, but then once you start using it regularly, it's like, oh my God, how did I do this before this existed?
And I'm finding out that, so my third one I put up, it's actually like up higher and out of the way a bit, which has been wonderful. I didn't realize how much when my other monitor was just right above, how much I'd look at the preview for the stream, like look at myself and stuff like that. And it's been like freeing just to focus on the camera and have chat right over the top of the other one where,
right.
I don't know, I just feel like there's so much room now. It's a weird feeling.
I do it too.
I'll
be honest with you. I mean, I have us visible 4 times between my 3 screens right now, and I'm always looking at different I'm always looking at different like preview screens as we're doing it, and it's it's a little distracting. You look at the camera less. I actually found out, like, doing YouTube content, I actually turn the monitors off.
Ooh,
not off, but like I minimize. I hit record and I minimize everything because it forces me to have somewhere to look. So I look at the camera way more often because I was catching myself. I was always looking at OBS, or I was looking at the microphones, or I was looking at something else, and it was really distracting. So I've been really working on
for sure.
looking at the camera more often.
Yeah, especially with the YouTube content where it is much more directed out at the people viewing. Yeah,
for sure. That's cool though. Is it another, like, because before you had almost like a TV mounted before?
Technically, so there are 2 LG 32-inch TVs, one vertical, one horizontal, and then I have my Acer 32-inch monitor.
Golly, so you got 3 32-inch screens.
Oh yeah, we got 96 square inches of space of, well, not that math, but
something
whatever
like
that translates to.
Yeah, something like that, right? Wow. I mean, I'm working with a 23 and a 24, I think, or something like that. But it's still, man, I don't know what I would do. I have thought about getting a like TV to mount on the wall, like up above my workstation here or something. So it'd be a little more off. It's just like you're saying, like off-putting, so I could look at it every once in a while. Or like I found the biggest thing was when I did the workout stream, and I was like so far away from my monitors.
Oh. Reading
was not fun. It was a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Like I literally had to like do a pop out on Twitch chat on my vertical monitor and just like blow it up like 200%. Yeah, so I could read chat while I was on the elliptical.
Next time you should just put the cell phone on the elliptical with you.
At the time my cell phone wasn't very good.
Yeah. So fair. But that'd be cool. Like, obviously, big budget stuff. Have a nice big monitor just for your own purposes. For anything is kind of neat to have. So one piece at a time.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's a great topic for next week, because we've already got our 4 for this week. But for next week or something in the future, we'll document this at the end of this tonight. But that's something we could carry over and mention, like how budgets play. And it's like buy within your means, right? Like, don't get all the gear at once. Make sure you grow your brand as your brand gains value, right? Kind of concept.
Yeah, for sure.
For this
week,
repurposing
lots of stuff people have too.
There you go.
Good thing we'll throw that in there.
For this week, I will say, for this week we have 4 really good topics to go over, to carry over from last week and 2 brand new ones out of the exciting news and everything that's happened from the Twitterverse.
Gotta stay on top of things.
Yeah, from the Twitterverse, I guess.
Yeah, from the
announcements that have come out of it. So our first 2 being leveraging Reddit in a good, sensible way. How to do that? How to make it work? How to make Reddit work for you as a content creator? The second
pull it up while we're talking about it.
Yeah. The second being, it was. Oh, I'm gonna have a brain lapse here. What was the second one?
You messaged it to me.
I did message it to you. Yeah.
There was a reason I asked you as well because my brain is.
On it. I'm grabbing it
not
right
really
now.
existent these days.
I'm grabbing it right now. It was stop making excuses for your bad content. Stop telling yourself.
Yes.
Stop telling yourself that you're okay, and that it's the viewer's problem or things like that. Right? Like stop making excuses for bad content. And then number 3, Twitch's new announcement as my stream title this week. Twitch's new announcement about sub pricing transitions for international viewers.
That's a big deal.
And lastly, Amaranth made an announcement today.
Yeah, just more hot topics on the hot
more
tubs,
hot
right?
tub hot topics.
It wasn't. So, yeah.
More topics coming from the tub.
We'll splash into
hot
that.
topics coming from the tub topics. I don't know. I was trying to find some funny play on words there. It didn't really work.
Bubbles from the tub. I don't know. That's all I got.
What? Okay, well
I don't know, man.
let's start with Amaranth first.
Sure.
I want to go there.
I want
to get in there. Get kind of.
Everybody's itching to know when hot tubs are involved. What the latest drama is.
So Amaranth, we know her content, her channel has grown.
Do we all know? Has everybody seen Amaranth on Twitch recommended feed at some point in their existence on this website?
I mean,
most likely.
Yeah. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Even if you didn't go looking for it.
Yeah.
It was probably at some point placed before you.
So she's seen huge amounts of growth since this whole thing started, right? I mean, just waves of new viewers, new followers, new subscribers, etc. She has been basically the pioneer or the champion of the hot tub experience on Twitch recently. Her and a couple others have really just made the most noise and had the biggest splash, for lack of a better, the biggest splash on the community.
Yeah, 100%.
So she made an announcement today that unannounced, which I think this is becoming a thing for Twitch, right? But unannounced, they came to her or not even came to her, but unannounced, they stopped allowing her to generate revenue on her stream. And I think in somewhere along the lines there, it says that they actually took all of her revenue earned let me pause. Advertisement revenue. Not all revenue.
Yeah.
All the advertisement revenue, and they took all of her advertisement revenue for the current month, all the advertisement revenue earned for the current month, and she's no longer capable of playing ads on her channel.
Yeah.
So
does this also mean that like pre-rolls won't be playing?
No advertising will occur on her channel. 0.
I feel like there's a slight upside to that where, like someone like us, like we would love to not have to worry about ads rolling so people can just come to our channel and instantly be on our content. Because at the end of the day, channels our size, maybe we're making $1 a month from ad revenue from the pre-rolls. And I mean, I never run my own, but if anybody does, it's not netting them a lot. So I'd love it. I'd love it if they just took it away from me. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Obviously, she was probably making a good penny more than that, but there is like a little golden liner, silver lining to that.
Yeah, and that's kind of I was kind of going that route. Honestly, I was kind of thinking that along the same lines. While I mean, we've done the math, right? Like I think we did the math and if we were to use the same numbers that I get for ad watch time, and I were to compare it to something like Tim makes like when he was watching football or something like that, when he was doing the Monday Night Football, he was making like $900 for every 2 minutes of advertisement or something like that. Like it was something insane, right? The numbers were nutty. The numbers were huge, and they were
for sure. Yeah.
And that's using the same CPM I have, which I'm sure Tim has a better at that point, right, they have better CPMs and all that kind of stuff, right? They get better,
a little bit.
They get better numbers. So same thing with Amouranth. It could have been enough, right? If you have the whole change bikini concept, right, that she has. If she were to run an ad during that, which one, entices more subscribers because they don't want to watch it, two, generates revenue. If she were to be running an ad for situations like that, or you had mid-rolls, you had pre-rolls, whatever they were, right?
For sure.
At thousands of viewers, you're talking about a situation where it's going to be like 10% of your revenue overall, right? If you're a decent growing channel, if you're a decent growing channel, you have a good amount of subscribers, things like that, it's going to be about 10%, maybe 15% of your revenue overall. So it's not a make or break situation, but that's, you're talking about say $1,000 a month, right? That's substantial amounts of money, right? Like it's not something that it's not something to sneeze about by any means.
Not at all. Yeah, and anybody would love to have that added on top of what they're already currently making. But,
so I have to assume this came out of the process of Twitch announcing the whole channel score thing, and they introduced that whole concept.
That's true. The metric must
every metric that was going into works and into play, that they were kind of having these ideas, on how to leverage advertising for these types of channels, right? And what types of channels or what type of advertisements would play on certain channels, right? So I have to assume this has something to do with that.
Yeah, and I feel like we have to keep an eye on other channels that are doing the hot tub content as well, because it's not going to look good on Twitch if it's just her. So because obviously there's something they're deeming, I don't know, as far as, I'm not going to say like a breach in TOS, but content that's not necessarily suitable for the ads that they're trying to run. So that's why they're taking it away from her. But
so that was going to be
want this.
That was going to be my next point on that. Right, is that even with the whole channel score concept and the whole announcement there, I think it's weird that Twitch never. Well, I mean, I don't think it's weird because Twitch is Twitch and they do whatever they want to do.
Yeah,
right.
Whenever they want.
I think that this could have gone a better way if it is related to channel score, right? I'm taking an assumption here that it's related to that. If it were
shot in the dark,
then you would think that they would make an announcement about, here are the repercussions of channel scores. Here's what's going to happen if your score gets below this value. Then you will lose advertising opportunities, right? Or Or if you have this really high score, your CPM goes up, or you get more advertising, or whatever. Like you get premium advertisement roles, or whatever it may be, right? Like there's options there, and have that score visible to you, right? Like have some way to track yourself to see if your content is getting bad performance in that area, so that way you can keep yourself from that, right? But
there needs to be some sort of transparency there.
But to just turn it off is a whole nother thing. Like, at least send her an email. And maybe Twitch is going to come out and say, hey, no, 3 days ago we said if you don't stop this, whatever. Twitch could come to their defense. I doubt they will, because we know Twitch and they don't do that, right? Like we've been around long enough now and we've dealt with enough of these situations that we know somebody on Twitch was like, I don't like that. Yeah. Right? Or, hey, we need to find a way to make this work.
But that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that this doesn't start some precedent of they're just going to do this willy-nilly, without any warning, without any numbers or proof of why they're doing this to you, and just start picking channels at random to say, hey, you know what? No more ad revenue for you until you maybe decide to change what kind of content you're putting out there. Because that's not gonna go well for Twitch. The community's not gonna be happy about that. If they come out and they make a broad statement, anybody streaming from a hot tub will not be allowed to do ads. At least they're being transparent, letting people know, and people can adjust accordingly.
So, it's going to be interesting because, they're going to have to do... I can't say they're going to have to, because they don't have to do anything. But they need to do some level of transparencies, because I really wish I could get my hands on a partner contract. Like a good one, like I wouldn't say even Amouranth. But Amouranth, sure, Amouranth. Let me look at your contract. I'd love to see your contract, and I'd love to understand what the advertising requirements are in your contract. Like, what agreement do you have with Twitch to allow them to play advertisements on your channel? What agreement do you have to earn revenue on those advertisements for your channel? Do you have to negotiate that every year? Do you get a clause that says Twitch is allowed to change advertisement capabilities or values at their leisure? If so, if it's in the contract, then Twitch can do whatever they want, right?
Yeah, I have to imagine it's a very small, subline somewhere just saying that Twitch has rights to control any type of advertising they want on their platform,
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is, and
yeah.
It would be based on, Twitch's internal algorithm and values of CP, whatever, right? And go through this whole thing. Yeah. And only if you're at that top tier elite streamer do you get any say in changing that clause, right? Like, only if you have, a whole team of lawyers sitting there in front of Twitch saying, nope, we're not going to sign this, And
for sure.
And so you end up in this weird situation with that, right? Like, it just turns into
very weird.
Turns into Twitch gets to do whatever they want. And that has been my biggest concern with Twitch in the past 6 months, right? All the changes that they keep making, all these things that they're doing. I mean, it went all the way back to the purpose of the, when they did the board, the anti-hate, the anti-abuse board or group or committee or whatever that was, and they randomly picked these people to be on this group, and it was just this very weird.
Nothing to be heard from since then.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're doing stuff in the back. I'm sure they are doing stuff in the background and causing commotion. But we don't know, right? Yeah, we don't know, right? And there's so many things here that I just think that Twitch is making decisions because it's like flying by the seat of their pants, right? They're just like, oh, there's a fire. Okay, dump something on it to make the fire go away.
Yeah.
And then we'll make a story about it later. Right? Like this is why we did it later.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the fire's burning and instead of running and get the hose to put it out, they're taking little cups of water, splashing them on it one at a time to see what works. Like yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of weird changes from Twitch. Some have, not been wanted. They've changed. They've walked stuff back. It's, obviously a lot of it's them trying to improve themselves for their own benefit, money-wise. It's just, I don't know. It seems like they're scrambling. They don't seem to have some set direction on what they're really trying to do for the community as a whole. And like you said, they're just taking pot shots and hoping at some point they do something and everybody's just like, thank God Twitch is here to be our savior. Like, they're on the right path now, but
I'd be interested. Any closer. I'd be interested to see if there's a way to get a copy of like Twitch's roadmap. Like, what are our plans for the next 5 years to incorporate new features, right?
And great to see.
And that's going to change all the time, right? Like every 3 months, that's going to change. But to have the ability to see that and then say, like, by the way, we want to implement X new feature in a year, right? And we don't have a name for it yet. We just want to do something like we want to have a community engagement feature, right? Whatever that is, right? Like, you don't even have to name it, but just say, this is what our plan is in Q3 of 2023, or, and have some ability to give content creators or streamers an awareness of what's to come, right? I think it would allow them to have more transparency, like you're saying. And even when you're chasing fires, like, if something came down the line, it could have turned out that some major advertiser called Twitch, right?
Right.
An advertisement played on Amaranth's channel. The VP of that channel just happened to be watching Amaranth at the time for some unknown reason, right? And we'll say it's like
not a tier 3 subscriber at all.
Yeah, and just happens to be hanging out there and sees that, my advertisement just played on this channel. What is going on? This is ruining, this is ruining my company at this point, right? Yeah. And they call Twitch and say, hey, pull this advertisement or we're done. Like, we're going to cancel our contract right now, right? And who knows, right? Like, I have a little bit of experience in advertising through work. I mean, it's very, very small, and that whole contract process and agreements and all that kind of stuff. And it's just a little weird when you get into some of that, because again, like we were talking about Amaranth's contract, we have situations where customer comes to us and says, hey, we're unhappy. And then we're like, I'm sorry. And they're like, no, we're just going to leave.
Want a hug?
Yeah. Where they're like, we're just going to leave if you don't do this for us. And we're like, no, please don't. Right. Because even though we could have that customer, we're going to say we could have that customer by the balls if they break the contract. But if they leave and say, this company sucks, don't ever, other people are going to go and say, hey, should we go advertise with them? And they're going to say, no, this company sucks, don't go advertise with them. Right. And it turns into, bad publicity ends up hurting you.
Even the legal battle to go after them for breach of contract still gets dragged through the courts for a long time, where you lose that revenue stream. And it's like, sometimes it's not worth it, even when you're in the right, to just kind of like, oh, all we have to do is change this little thing. Sure, we'll take care of that for you.
Right.
I think with Twitch, though, what they've done is they're not getting the benefit of the doubt anymore, because I just think there's a lot of distrust in the community because of some of the weird decisions they've made, the lack of transparency and things like that. Like what? They made a big announcement when they said, hey, the new /me feature, no longer will it be the same color as the person's name in chat, so nobody gets confused about donations that aren't real. Like,
really?
What a weird thing that nobody asked for.
Really? Yeah, because everybody was getting thrown off when they saw it in chat. I mean, like, let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Out of those that are listening or watching, I would love, I'm going to put a poll. I'm going to put a poll
Please,
after the podcast tonight and say, how many people actually read their chat for donation amounts versus watching their activity feed?
I know, that's what I was going to say. Like,
you don't have an alert go off, and you don't have an alert go off.
Yeah.
It's just in chat. No alert, no activity feed, and you're getting confused about it? Like, seriously?
Yeah,
come on.
It's like, I hate to say that's us catering to the ignorant people out there, where, I'm sorry, no offense to the streamers. No, actually, if you're a streamer and you see it written in chat and you think that it's a real donation, that's on you. I'm sorry. Pay more attention. Like you said, watch your feed. If you don't have alerts on, maybe try setting that. Then you really won't get confused. But
and
that's not on the viewer's fault, where that's a feature that needed to be changed for the benefit of the community.
And here's the other side of it, too. The user doesn't say that they donated the money. Your bot does.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So it's
the
not even
highlighted like bot that.
Anyway,
there's so many things about it that are just like, why? Why was this?
Yeah, so it's
something they viewed as a big issue.
It's one of those things where I'm just like, I don't understand. That was one of those ones. But you're right. Twitch doesn't have a roadmap, and I don't think they don't have a plan. They don't have a way to fight fires. One thing I will say, and this is going to YouTube's credit, right? This is going to Google and YouTube and saying they have the YouTube creators. The YouTube creators like podcast or it's a video series that they put out new videos weekly about, hey, this is what's going on. Hey, here's ways to grow. Hey, this is what you can do. Hey, this is a new trending topic. Hey, this is something that we're trying to implement. Do you want to get in the beta? Blah, 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 right? And they have this video creators series that I love. I love it. It's always, and when you're uploading content, like it's down there in the bottom right-hand side of the window, it says, hey, check out the new video, right?
It's always there.
And I'm like, hey, this is something that gives us insight to what's coming in the future, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I would love to see. I would just love to see some insight from Twitch, and I would love for them to step back. You have to fight your fires. You have to fight your fires, right?
For sure.
If you are in legal battle, right? The Dr. Disrespect thing, that was a fire. Whatever happened, still nobody knows. Whatever happened,
man.
That was a fire, right? Like he was just boom, gone, done. That's a fire. Whatever happened, right? It was done. But this thing right here, like the /me and the advertising issues and things like that, unless you have a company come directly to you and say, don't ever let my advertisement play there again on any of that content, and you have no way to control it today, then you just have to cut it, right? Like you have to be like, okay, it's cut, we're done, right? That's the only thing I can think of. That's the only thing I can think of. That like, think of like Procter and Gamble, right? They make so many things, right? Like it's not just one product. It's not just one product, right? It's not like Dove, where they're making Dove soap, right?
No.
Like Procter and Gamble,
in all the cookie jars.
Exactly. So it could have been something like that, right? Where they just went everywhere, or they're in everything, and they just said, "Nope, we're done." Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Twitch just needs a way too where they can get the community involved. I don't know. I just feel like I don't feel like there's any connection. There's no way for people to just like be like, hey, we as viewers would like to see this, and hey, we as streamers would like to see this. Besides, probably the top 1% income producers for the company.
I would be interested in that too. Like I'd love to be on a panel. I'd love to be on a survey panel for Twitch. Like take a serious, like I would go to, and maybe they did stuff like this at TwitchCon. Maybe that was part of the efforts of TwitchCon, right? And they hosted sessions like this about like, here's what's coming in 2022, right? Or here's what we're doing. But, if you don't have TwitchCon, right? If that's your effort of doing that, what's your alternative? How do you keep your community happy? How do you keep your people happy, right?
Maybe we could do that as our own little like side project. We could peruse the smaller communities in Twitch and just ask that question, viewers and streamers alike. What would you like to see change? What would you like to see added? What would you like to see removed? Whatever it may be. That'd be kind of a fun thing to do.
Do something, take some polls somewhere and
collect the data.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Some clips. I like it.
All right.
Again, side that for future things.
Put a pin in it. Let's put a pin in it.
Yeah.
All right.
Put it on the map.
So, Amouranth, I'm sorry that your advertisement revenue got taken away. I think Twitch did this a little prematurely, unless there was some legal claim or legal battle going on. But I think Twitch needs to come out, make an announcement for whatever reason they did it for.
Shed some light.
Yeah, just explain why. That's all you got to do. Just tell us why. And then make a precedent or make a rule for whatever you're going to do in the future, right?
Yeah.
Just let the people know. Yeah, they're probably going to get mad. Who cares? You made the rule. They have to follow the rule, but don't have no rule that nobody knows about.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, too, Amouranth, I'm still not going to shed a tear for you because you're still making plenty of money on this platform. So I'm sorry your ad revenue got taken away, but you're going to be fine. You'll survive.
You'll be okay.
You'll make it.
So I wanna take a step and
slide to the right, slide to the left.
Yeah, I want to take a step and hit one of our, before we get too carried away, right? Because that actually went 20 minutes. I was surprised we talked long enough about that. I was like, yeah, this will be a quick one.
A hot tub's a hot topic, man.
So let's touch on. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. Let's touch on the topic of our Twitch, right? Leveraging our Twitch.
Reddit, in case nobody out there knows what the R means.
Yes,
but
Reddit content. Reddit content.
Which is an unofficial place. It's not run by Twitch, just so people know.
Oh,
it's
no
run
way.
by fans, people, whatever.
Yeah.
Which again wouldn't be a bad way for Twitch. Just jumping off from the last one to maybe get to know what their community is looking for. But this isn't a good example of that, which is probably why they're not any part of it.
Yeah, I was going to say. So traditionally, Reddit is a trove or a hiding space for trolls. It is the troll grotto.
Breeding ground?
The breeding ground of trolls. There you go. So a lot of times, you have many content creators that have their own subreddits that are very well controlled with moderators, etc., right? But you have the ability to create a subreddit for anything, right? Like you don't have to have any reason. So whoever created our Twitch way back when was a really smart person, but whatever it's turned into, right? You have this weird area of Twitch where everybody goes to complain or to vent,
get other people on the internet to stroke their ego,
or to vent, or to something like that, right? And again, we talked last week. It's very, very hard as a content creator today to actually get constructive criticism without going and hiring a stream coach, which that's not really a certifiable job, right? I mean, you have to take at liberty that there's no guarantee that anytime you pay somebody for streaming that you're going to get success, right? I mean, it's still one of those things that you have to.
They're just giving you opinions.
Yeah. So So a lot of people do go to our Twitch. A lot of people go there and try to, figure out what they're trying to say, or try to get positive feedback, try to get some information. And I've noticed that there's a lot. Our Twitch is a just like we mentioned, it's a cesspool of trolls,
among many other things. Yeah, there's not a lot of great things happening on that subreddit, in my opinion, at all.
So I mean, I spent 2 to 3 weeks. I spent 2 to 3 weeks going there. And
so sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it was active like every day, and I was like newest content, and I would like comment on the top 10 newest things every time I'd log in. Then I'd find the hot ones, and I'd go and I'd comment on the hot items, and then I was just trying to give positive feedback to pretty much every post.
A lot of people ask for mic advice on there once in a while.
Yeah,
so that's your wheelhouse.
Exactly. So I was on there, and it was. There's two things I don't like about Reddit. And
run it down for us.
The first being that topics aren't sustainable over time. If you don't sticky it, even the stickies are really hard to find, right? Oh, yeah. Like stickies are in another post, right? So like stickies are in another post, so you have to drill down inside of somebody else's post even to find the stickies. But I mean, usually they pin that to the top or something like that, like typically. But yeah, a lot of those are not current, right? They're not relevant. Nope. They're not current. Like a sticky will exist and it'll be 3 years old, and they're like, "Oh, do this in OBS," yeah. And I'm like, that feature doesn't even exist anymore. Like that's been completely redone,
way out of date.
But so Reddit is not very searchable. It's not search friendly, at least from a UI perspective. You can search anything you want on Reddit.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not UI search friendly. It
probably exists.
So one thing that I really, really don't like about Reddit is every time I go there, you see the same topics over and over and over again. Like you'll have 4 to 5 people in the same day ask the same question.
Yeah, part of that too means to me it's lazy moderation on whatever that subreddit is, because I do know there are some ones that I follow, especially like with like new release video games and things like that. The community managers and stuff like that are really big on top of like deleting this because it's already been posted here, and then they link to the other actual post and lead people to the right place. But yeah, there's plenty of subreddits. Twitch is one of them where you're right. You'll see the same shit 7 times a day after day after day, and it's ridiculous.
And it makes it really, really hard to, again, give constructive criticism. It makes it very tiring. Yeah. Very tiring to give constructive criticism because you give it over and over and over again. And I'm like, I was making comments and I would literally like copy and paste.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
I was like, hey, I just answered this over on this post over here, but here's what I said before, right? And I would do it again. And I'm like, Yeah, no,
our Twitch is definitely a place where you could probably write a pretty like generic, somewhat informative response and copy and paste that for multiple posts of different types, because you're still answering somewhat of the same question that's just being asked so many different ways.
So how do you take that culture, that mindset, and send somebody there that's actually looking to get constructive criticism? How do you help somebody leverage that for good?
I don't know if you can. Tell them to stay away.
That wasn't going to be my answer, but
I know. Yeah, there's so much on here that, like, again, I hate. You're right. I hate the people that repost the same silly questions, especially some of them where if that person knows how to use the internet. Which, if they're finding their way to Reddit, they know how to use a browser. They know how to Google stuff. You can Google a lot of these questions people are asking and find an answer within 60 seconds. Take care of it and move on. But they like to come here and post. Some of it, they want their karma or awards or whatever it is that people get on Reddit. I know there's lots of different things that people can give back out to you. I hate the posts. If anybody's been on here and anybody's done it, I'm looking at you. Anybody that's like, I'm a new streamer and I'm averaging 50 people in my first week. Am I doing something wrong? Like, what is that? Like, are you just trying to get people to come there and like, hey man, let's stroke your ego a little bit. You're doing awesome. Good for you. Like, don't rub that in people's faces. It's awesome. Don't get me wrong. But
the best
when
part's
you
when
ask it like that,
the best part's when they don't have their channel linked.
yeah,
and then you have no way to validate that they're actually saying anything.
For sure.
Or they just happen to have their channel linked, and then you actually pull their stats, and they're down to like
and it's not at all.
They're at like 2-3 viewers, and they're doing that in order to try to get more people to come, right?
Yeah,
more people to show up.
There's so many just little squirrely tactics on here.
So
that it's tough that the good posts are so few and far between that it's hard, like you said, to really leverage. I don't know, man. Maybe you look for the posts that have people that post a lot and they have a lot of karma, so it's somebody that's actually active.
So when I
go to their channels, go ahead.
What I was gonna suggest is if you want to leverage Reddit, like you like Reddit a lot for other reasons, and you're just getting started in streaming, you're trying to find some
member
advice,
of the community.
You're like, hey, I know Reddit. There's our Twitch. I can use this, and I'm already on Reddit for other reasons. I'm a moderator in 10 other channels or whatever, right? Like I don't know. I'm just
for you.
So one thing, yes. Learn to search posts, like search within the past 14 days. Like that is going to be my biggest thing for getting constructive feedback, because one, there's more than likely already going to be comments on it. You don't need to ask again because people are going to complain that you're asking the same question. They will. Mm-hmm. So just find a way, actually search, spend a little bit of time, go to Reddit. This sounds counterintuitive, but go to Reddit looking for an answer, not to ask a question.
Ooh, that's smart. I like that, actually.
Go there looking to find an answer. Don't go there because you have a problem. Go there because you're trying to solve a problem.
Yeah. I think another good piece of advice, too, is if you find a topic that's talking about something that you're looking for an answer for, don't necessarily write a new comment on that post. If there's a big active feed underneath there, or a tree, whatever you want to call it, where somebody's responded to a response to a response to a response, reply to that, and that way your post is going to get notified to a lot more people who might be able to come and give you some advice, rather than just to the one person who is the OP for the post itself.
Yep. And then my second piece to that is, if you're really looking to do constructive things on Reddit or on our Twitch specifically, don't go to our Twitch with a mindset that you already have an answer, or that you're trying to tell somebody else how to do it.
Fair.
Right? If you want to become a success, that's one thing I learned going into it. I made like two to three posts trying to give advice before the question was asked, right? Like I created posts.
How did that go?
They were either derailed, like completely like, oh, you're an idiot, right? Or it just completely got zero attention.
Man, I need to look up your Reddit history.
I've probably deleted everything, honestly. I mean, if it had negative karma on it, I was like, I'm deleting it. I don't want this anymore.
Yeah, you can't let that get out of hand, right?
So like, but it ends up with this situation where a lot of our Twitch doesn't want to be told what to do, right? They don't mind helping.
Literally took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah. It's a lot of times. Sometimes they don't mind helping, right? They may get annoyed when the same question's asked multiple times, but don't tell them that they're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where it gets a little weird. So again, go there looking for an answer. Don't go to ask a question. If you can't find your question, then for sure. If you can't find your answer, then ask the question, right? Like, be like, hey, I know this is already being talked about in this topic, but I have something that's a little more unique to do this, right? Like, that's my thing. Is there's a lot of times I will Google stuff, or I will look on Reddit for something, and there's a very, very common use case for something, right? And I'm like, that's really close to what I want, but I have these few other little points that I need to add or take away from that, or I'm going to use it in a different context or a different situation, and I need something else to work for me, but it isn't now. How do I make that work, right? Like, how do I add on to this?
Yep. Yeah. No, that's some very sound advice right there. And take it with a grain of salt. Some people might attack you. Again, it's the internet. Some people might tell you your question's stupid. Don't listen to them. Just kind of weed through the different responses you get, take pieces here, take pieces there, and, kind of formulate your next move from all that. So obviously, again, everybody's giving you their opinion. Nobody on here is a certified professional.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that there's anybody just uber qualified to give streaming advice at all. All of us are just basing any information off of our own experiences, what we see and what we've done ourselves.
Yeah, that you're right. That's the biggest thing, is the ability for you to, I guess, work with your own experiences and relate those to others.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Even Ludwig's exactly. Advice, right? If it were that easy, if it were as easy as Ludwig made it sound when he did his little big mantra thing 3 months ago, you'd see so many people that were already on this climb, growing super fast. I always love the response. I'm sidetracking here. I always love the situation like Mr. Beast, Ludwig, even these other content creators that we know have sponsored content or being provided content or materials from manufacturers, and they're like, oh, you should easily be able to do this, right? But then you have Ludwig, who's like, I gave Stream my credit card for a day and we spent $1,000. I'm not giving Stream $1,000 for no reason.
Especially because if it doesn't go amazingly well, you are not recouping that money.
Exactly.
Like, he knows he can do it because he's probably going to make 10 grand from the stream that day.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the thing is, I mean, and if you make a video like, so in Ludwig's defense, right? Like it is a good idea if you have the capital to do it. Yeah. But if you make a YouTube video, I gave Stream $25 to spend on a credit card, nobody's going to care.
Yeah. Or let's Stream buy 5 things from the dollar menu. What did they choose?
Yeah, exactly. No, like that's not gonna content. That's not gonna work. And that's part of that situation where I think that people, I don't want to say they lose a sense of reality, because I don't think that's what it is. But not everybody has the availability to make the content in the same way. Right. And to be able to leverage that, I think what grows in content today is the amazing factor. Right. That's why Mr. Beast's channel is so ridiculous. That's why Cletus McFarlane's channel for car stuff is so ridiculous. The dudes get so much money, they don't know what to do with it. So they literally just spend it to create content. And there are so many people out there who have really cool ideas but don't have ways to spend money to create content.
Yeah, which a lot of this, ties back into the conversations we've had before, where success as a content creator in a lot of ways makes continuing success quite easy because of your ability to just throw money at stuff. And, again, to the other things, teams. You can pay the editors and things like that, where all you have to do is come up with ideas, do them, and other people turn it into content for you.
Yeah.
Or buy shit and let people, again, throw your credit card out for anything and let people do it. It's like, they're great ideas and they're so simple on the surface, but having the means to turn it all into content is what makes it really easy for these people that have all that.
That kind of goes...
People like us can't make it happen.
Same thing when Ludwig was doing a subathon, right? His 30-day subathon, and yet somehow magically he was still able to put out a YouTube video every day.
Every single day.
Every day he had a YouTube video based on his previous day's content because of editors and, people who are managing, content managers, let's put it that way, media managers or whatever you want to call it, a team of individuals who are able to do, he's over there sleeping and they're like, okay, now time to get to work. Right? It's just the way you'd have to do it. Right. And when you have that capability, you're able to churn out that much more. Yeah.
It's a business, and having overhead on the business usually allows you the ability to be more successful.
Okay, so we got about 15 minutes on the we got about 15 minutes left on the baseline here before we get into extended overtime, which I think we might carry into extended overtime on this topic here.
Extended overtime.
Yeah, it's
right,
gonna
so
be.
What are we tackling next? Tackling the price changes?
We gotta go with the price changes. It's a hot topic right now. It's something we need to cover and kind of mention here. For those 100%. For those that are unaware, Twitch has made a public announcement that going forward, they've started rolling. They will start rolling out next month, I think, or sometime. It's soon. It's soon. I don't know the exact date yet, but
yeah, I know there's like rolled changes for payback for streamers as well. That's like a 12-month plan.
Yeah,
but
they are.
Overall, the prices are changing. I think you're right, in June.
They are changing the value of subscribers, or they're changing the cost for foreign viewers to subscribe to their favorite content creators, albeit countries like, I think, Mexico, Turkey, and there was another country that were like in the big pilot for it. In the very and this could be as much as up to half of the current cost for those individuals to subscribe. This comes as a shock to me. And they do have an option for content creators to offset lost revenue for the first 12 months based on their current revenue values, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the rollout plan is neat. Like, I like the rollout plan.
What are they calling it? Real world pricing? They had some generic name that they were calling the whole thing. I forget what it was.
I don't know what they're calling it, but it's not real. Like, whatever they're calling it, that's not the right phrase for it, because it's not real. And we've had our discussions on that. I want you to go, because I think this is a good and a bad idea. I think this is a good and bad idea.
Localized pricing. That's what they're calling
it. Localized pricing?
Localized pricing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you start first. What do you think? Because I
know, yeah. This might be a good moment where me and Q like really split the divide here. I like it. Obviously, streamers, it's kind of tough for a lot of the foreign content creators. You know, say if you're big in Mexico and you have a huge following, and your 10,000 subscribers are now paying out, I don't know what the actual money is, but say they used to pay out 20 grand a month and now it's paying 10. Still, sure, that's amazing money a year. Like, nobody should complain about 120 grand. But that's a huge pay cut. Hopefully, again, you know, they're leveraging money other ways via donations, sponsorships, and things like that, where it won't hurt them too bad. But we can hope somewhat that the offset will also be covered by, you know, maybe those 20,000 subs become 30,000 or 40,000 because it's more affordable to people. Because I know there are a lot of viewers and a lot of channels who wish they could support, but, you know, they might only be able to afford the $2 a month instead of $5. So giving those people an opportunity to do so, I think, is awesome. I'm going to be very curious to watch the numbers over the next year to see if overall subscriptions climbs, goes down, stays the same. My hope is that it's going to go up. And if it goes up, it's exactly what I want it to be, a good thing. If it goes down or stays the same, obviously I think my point at that juncture is wrong, but I'm still going to say I was right because I think it's great. So, yeah, I hope to see more subs across the board, and that's what I like about it. If you make it more affordable to people, it should be something we see more of.
So does Twitch. Twitch. Twitch hopes to see more subs across the board, and
it means more money in their pocket.
This has nothing to do with content creators. This has nothing to do with streamers getting more money. This has everything to do with Twitch getting more money.
But they'll paint it that it's something good for us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure. They're going to paint it that way. I am not sure. I don't like it. I don't like it because I could have. Here's my problem. I could have a viewer from Australia. I could have a viewer from the US, I could have a viewer from China, and I could have a viewer from Mexico. All four of them are going to pay different prices to watch my content. And that's what I don't like. I don't like the valuation changes. I can't go to Australia. I can't go to Australia and say let me rephrase that. If I lived in Mexico, I can't come here to the United States and say, I'm from Mexico, so I only want to pay half price for this.
I get your point there, but that's why they're calling it localized.
It's not a real world solution, though. Like, you can't devalue content. We're spending all this time trying to evaluate brands, trying to establish our own worth in the world of digital media, and then Twitch turns around and says, "Oh, by the way, you're not worth that much over there." So we don't care. You know, we don't care that you think that your content is worth $4 an hour or whatever, $4 a viewer. We're telling you that now it's only worth $2 a viewer, right? The biggest impact.
So our value is different depending on the country that we're being viewed in.
Exactly. And that doesn't make sense, right? Like, that's the part I don't like. Trust me, I love the thought process. I love the thought process of somebody who wasn't able to be a supporter of a content creator in the past is now able to do so. You know what's really going to change here? You know what'll be really interesting? I bet you'll see a big change in donations. Imagine if you had a viewer in the past that every month they could only donate $3, or they only had $3 to their name to give out for digital media. So they could do a $3 donation fee via PayPal, right? You pay a small foreign transaction fee. I don't even think you do. I don't even think you do for PayPal.
Yeah, I don't know much these days. I think with how
it's
transferable digital currency becomes.
It's very small, if it's anything.
Yeah.
Right? So you pay a small foreign transaction fee, maybe, and then, that's it. Right? The streamer gets the rest of the money. So if you only have $3 to give, then that's great, right? Like, thank you for your $3. I don't need your subscription. Like, if that's
better than a sub.
Exactly. I mean, theoretically, yeah. But if that's the way you want to handle it, let those people do that, right? Let those people have that opportunity to, or their 100 pesos or their 1,000 yen or whatever it is, right? Like, let them give the money what they have the ability to give, but don't tell me that I'm worth less because they don't have more to give. Like, my value isn't in that way. Like, my value isn't in the value of a subscription.
Yeah.
The cost of the subscription should not define my value.
No. And I guess too, I don't know if I necessarily view, because again, it's a price that Twitch claims. We don't get to choose subscription prices. Part of me, I would love that probably more than this, is if we could decide our own price. We value, which, I'm sure that's never going to happen. But
that was actually going to be my statement. Well, finish yours.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, because you're going to run into stuff even with this new system where, Ludwig just hit the new, the subscription overall goal record. And obviously most of those are probably U.S. subscribers. So, what if someone, Japan or Mexico, where the price is, half or 10% or whatever it may be of the U.S. subscription, they go and get 500,000 subscribers where the money's not more, but the number is, and that's the new record. It kind of takes away from that. I give you that point as far as it definitely, it devalues the sub more than just the price. The meaning behind it kind of goes away.
Right. So you have metrics that are based on this. You have other things that are going on. And so you're basically saying that you're subscribed to me, right? And the numbers, right? The numbers is foreign. You're domestic for me, right? So the numbers in my chat, right, is in Europe. So if his sub is only worth $2, he gets the same level of benefits that you get. Right? Like, in my Discord, I can't differentiate a foreign foreign subscriber to a domestic one. I can't differentiate that in Discord. So if I have levels set up on my Discord for subscribers, you get the same regardless, right? And again, this gets into some semantics about you shouldn't be worried about it and blah blah blah. It's they're still supporting you, whatever. I don't care, right? Like,
hey man, I want more people to have my emotes. That's what I want.
Well,
I want frog emotes everywhere.
It's a business though. Like, yes, I'm gonna care when I'm trying to again establish value for my brand, right? Now one thing that I just thought about while you were talking and we were going over it.
What is it?
What happens? What happens to people that load up Twitch in a VPN? They VPN over to Mexico.
I had somebody in my chat bring that up.
If they VPN over to Mexico, log in and buy 25 gifted subs for your chat.
Yeah.
And then they log out and log back in from the US. How does that work? How is Twitch going to manage that?
I don't know if they can.
I think people are going to find that as a workaround. I really do.
Oh yeah.
They're going to be able to they're going to be able to
subs for pennies on the dollar. Like,
you'll be able to subscribe from all over the world for pennies.
Do we get stats based on where the subscriber's coming from? We do somewhere in the metrics, right?
We get viewer metrics, not subscriber metrics, to my understanding, to my remembrance.
My headset's dying. I'm trying to plug it in without taking it off my head. Perfect. Got it. Yeah, no, that's obviously there's going to be issues. I do feel still though it's tough again because of the world market money wise, where we say, hey, it's $5 American no matter where you are. When, obviously there's conversion rates for other things
You know, you can buy something in America that might be cheaper because we make it and they might buy stuff. So this is something that exists on the internet where I'm okay with it. Again, it's going to disrupt stuff a little bit. The VPN thing is very interesting. The subscriber counts, those type of records, I feel like are definitely going to be not as big a deal anymore because of the fact that you can weigh in the value behind it all. But
it's gonna make it so hard.
I'm happy to see people to be able to support.
Yeah, it's gonna be so hard, right, to understand or like to do a subconscious value of your monthly revenue. Then, like you can't anymore, right? You know, Twitch Prime subs. Twitch Prime subs used to be worth the full $4.99.
Yeah, I was gonna say they were more, right?
Yeah, the Twitch Prime subs used to be full value to the content creator. And now they're back down to a regular sub. Twitch did that unannounced, like just out of nowhere.
But it definitely is one of those where, you know, somebody could see like 100 gifted and be like, sick. Like, you know, in America, it's, you know, we're getting $250 a sub. That's $250. Awesome. But you could go and check your metrics afterwards and be like, man, why am I only getting $100 payout this month? I thought I got 100 gifted, but it could be because it's now from
I really think
the sub costs, you know, $3 instead of $5.
I really think you're gonna see sub trolls at that point.
A sub troll. Is that really a troll? They're still giving you money.
Yeah, but
I'm okay with it. Sub trolls, come attack me.
Yeah, but have you seen say look at it this way. If you had TTS turned on for subscriptions.
Yeah.
Right. But you didn't for anything else, you know, or whatever. Right. Like they're going to leverage that and then they only have to pay 40 cents or whatever to be able to run a TTS on your channel.
It'll be interesting to kind of explore the world pricing. I'd like to see that listed.
The full list per country
how
or
much
something?
it technically is going to cost per country. Yeah.
Now what's going to be
see what the bottom one is, you know, and see if all of a sudden we see a spike in, you know, subscriptions from Tunisia, or I don't know. I'm not trying to pick on Tunisia or any country that might not have a great economy, but
they use Turkey as a really big example. They use Turkey as like one of their biggest study groups or study areas or something like that. So
yeah.
So the last part of that, and we'll close out on this, I think, after we go around this. I think what you hit on is what Twitch should have done. Twitch should have gone the route of allowing content creators to value their own subscriptions. I have
like
always
a Patreon setup.
Like a Patreon. YouTube does the same thing. YouTube does the same thing where you get to define the cost per tier on YouTube, just so you know. On YouTube, you can have 5 tiers. And
really?
you can,
I actually did not know that about YouTube.
You can have 5 tiers for a partner channel, and you get to set up the cost for each of those tiers. So you can go all the way down to $1. I think $1 is the lowest you can go.
Yeah.
And then you can go up from there to whatever. Like, I don't know what the max is either, but
I do like that, just to be able to better define what your viewers and supporters are getting for the money they're giving you. But that's something we'll never see, you know, because again, I don't know. I feel like that becomes such a hot mess with how Twitch is. All of a sudden, you know, these big streamers can swing things around for sub count records. Like, hey, you know what? Oh, September, all my subs are 50 cents. You know, and it just blows up, and they get 1 million subs in the month. And
so what, though?
Again, I mean, at the same time, though, maybe that's not bad. It creates a game. It creates competition. It creates. Let's see who can one up each other.
But at the same time, they're doing the same. They're doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing with these internationals. Like, I mean,
I still like people being able to support me. I want to see more.
And that's what I like. This is such a hard topic to have for me because that's the part that I like. Like, I love the concept of somebody who's less fortunate getting the ability to provide support. I love that.
Yeah,
I think that's huge, and I think it's great, and I don't think that should be anything in question, right?
Yeah,
but I just don't like the way that they went about it to say, you're not getting anything, right? Like, or you're going to get less because we decided it. Yeah.
Yeah, like Twitch is like, this is a change we're making. You're welcome. You don't like that they're proud of this moment.
Instead of changing,
making it seem like it's for us.
Instead of changing tier 1, why not make tier 0.5? Right? Where you get to subscribe, you get the badge, but maybe you only get 1 emote or something like that, right? Like, make it different for the viewer. That's the other thing too. they don't have like the think about it. Tier 2 and tier 3. Tier 2 and tier 3. You get one additional emote per tier.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Right? Like
you get and
why
you
not
get
make
a
it
little trinket added to your sub badge.
Sure. So why not make it something different to where like you get like because if I go subscribe to Tim today, right? If I go subscribe to Tim or Lupo or Mercs or any of those, you get like 50 emotes.
Oh yeah.
Right? Why not make that? Why not make that 10, 20, 30, right? Make the emote count different.
Flippin' love that, man.
Right?
Like,
have the ability to distribute the emote amounts based on tier as well.
Yeah.
That way, okay, yeah, and then you could bring down the sub cost, bring the sub cost down to $1, whatever.
Yeah.
But you only get one emote.
Yeah. We just need more emotes in general.
I
have
think
so many cool ideas and things that I want to do, but like I literally have to sit there and nitpick like which 6.
I think they
get given out.
I think they sham affiliates on emotes, but
yeah. So but still, fingers crossed we get that mid-range tier. Give us something to fight for.
Maybe.
But yeah, no,
one day.
It's just another step in the Twitch, world of look at what we're doing for you guys while they line their pockets with more money.
But once again, if they had gone to the community and asked or had a session to say, here's our roadmap, here's what we're thinking about launching, what do you guys think?
Yeah.
What would have been the response?
This would not be the top of the list.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it plays well and sure, on paper and at the end of the day, it's not the worst thing that's going to happen, but there's a lot of stuff they can do before it.
Yeah. Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
So with that, we're going to close out for the week. We did not hit our stop making excuses for bad content. So we're going to carry that one over to next week. What did we put a pin in this week? We put a pin in budgeting for content creators. So we will hit them.
Yes.
That'll be 2 good topics for next week. We're going to try to add those in. Stop making excuses for your bad content and budget better for your stream. I think those are two good ones to cover in next week.
Any fellow streamers that are out there, me and Q are trying to add a new segment to the podcast where we go and view like a couple minute clip of your stream and we nitpick it. We find the good, we find the bad, and we let you know what we think about it. So if you have any of that, feel free to post it in either our Discords. We'd love to start that up next week if we could as well.
Yes. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I am done. I'm done.
Yeah.
This week's over for me. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm not done because we still need to thank all our supporters out there, especially the ones on Patreon, the ones who subscribe to us on Twitch, and just all the ones that hang out with us on a day-to-day basis. We love you all.
Was that it? Was that good night?
Yeah.
Oh.
We love you all. Now you sign us off. Don't you know how this works by now? No. It's like week 75.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. As always, this will be posted on YouTube. Thank you for watching live for those that do. For those of you that are checking us out, Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Cloudcast, all these other different platforms. I don't even know them all. We will check you all next week. Thanks for watching.
See you next week, guys.
And listening.